Okay, welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside. Maybe some of you will get that. Anyway, welcome back, and welcome to Geometry. Woo woo! Man, you just can't realize how desperately you need geometry. This is probably going to be the most important class in all of your learning because geometry is going to help us learn to think in rational ways, to accomplish things in a logical sequence to arrive at the solution that we need. That's what geometry is about. Along the way, we're going to use shapes to do that with. That's okay. That's a good mode in order for us to learn. Geometry is extremely, extremely important no matter what you're going to do and no matter what you want to be. We're going to start out here in section 1.1. You need to read the sections. I can't do the reading for you and have it mean as much to you as if you read it yourself. When you get to something that just didn't make a whole lot of sense, read it again. Pay close attention to the boxes that are marked key concept and also example. The example boxes are going to be very much like the work that you do, and they will even be worded very closely, if not exactly the way that they're worded in the examples. Use the figure to name each of the following. When you get over to the work, guess what it says? Use the figure to name each of the following, and so on and so forth. We have trouble because we don't read. If you will read again if need be, it's going to be a lot easier for you. Take notes. Make yourself notes that you can have right there beside you when you're doing your work. Here's an example of the notes for chapter 1. It's not all the notes that could be made, but these are good notes to have. This chapter is going to introduce to us points, lines, and planes. And while you might be thinking, well, I've been working with points, lines, and planes. Geometry is the math where we begin to prove everything that we do. The basis for geometry, though, is going to come through these three terms, which are called undefined terms. There is no way that you can actually give a definition for what a point is. It's just a place. There's no way that you can give a definition really of what a line is or what a plane is. We have to assume these three things, and that's what all of the rest of geometry is going to be based on. That doesn't mean that we can't get a picture in our minds what they are and that we can't represent them. We can most certainly do that. A point, think of it like an address. Your house has an address. 1122 Boogie Woogie Avenue. That just tells everybody where your house is at. It doesn't describe in any way what your house looks like, the size of your house, the color of your house, or what it's made of. It's just simply a reference point or location, an address. A point is represented by either a dot or one capital letter. A line is a connection of consecutive points. It's redundant to say straight line because all lines are straight. It's a connection of consecutive points. The symbol for line is this bar with an arrow on both sides. If you leave the arrows off or if you just have one arrow, that means something completely different. The symbol for line is a bar with arrows on both sides, meaning that it's going to go in both directions forever. To name a line, you can name it using one lowercase letter, like this right here, or two uppercase letters, which represent any 2 points that are contained on the line. This particular line can be called line lowercase r, line AB, AB with the line symbol over the top, or BA with the line symbol over the top, or the word line followed by capital A, capital B. All those are ways that we can represent this figure right here. A plane, think of it as a sheet of paper. What differentiates it from a line is that it goes in more than one dimension. A line doesn't have thickness, there is no ends to it. A plane has thickness once we add a third point that is not on the line. In fact, the definition given to me in high school is a plane is defined as 2 points. 2 points can make a line. 2 points and a third point not on the line. That's what gives it its second dimension. Think of a sheet of paper. A sheet of paper doesn't only go across, it also goes up and down, or any two-dimensional shape. A triangle. In a triangle, you can include all kinds of line segments running left and right, but you can also include line segments that run bottom to top, and then you can also include line segments that do a variation of both, running left and right, top to bottom, and so on. To name a plane, it can be named by a single italicized letter. The book says a script letter. I think we're more familiar with the term italicized letter, or 3 capital letters. That distinguishes it from the naming of a line. Here's an example of a plane. Here's the italicized R, and then you have 3 points, point A, point B, point C. So this plane could be called plane R, or plane ABC, plane BCA, and you don't always have to write the name plane in front of it if you're implicitly referring to a plane. 2 of the terms in the book are collinear and coplanar. Collinear is the most important of the 2 because it's used more, and we need to understand what it means. This is a compound word. Co means together. Linear means on the line. Talking about points that are together on the same line. What makes it so important is all through the year as we're reading and we're introduced to an exercise and it tells us that something is collinear, then we need to make the connection that, oh, that means that they are on the same line. Coplanar, together in a plane. Co means together, planar means in the plane. Points A and B are coplanar. Points A and C are coplanar. They're in the same plane. All right. You need to read this section. Read pages 5, 6, 7, and the work actually begins on page 8. I'm going to work some of the odd problems with you so that you will see what your answers should look like. And I want to reiterate how you should be doing your work on your paper. Nice and neat. It is not necessary for you to draw this picture on your paper, although it might help you. It says use the figure to name each of the following. This picture is going to be used for questions 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to be working some of the odd ones. Number 1, a line containing point X. Here's point X right here. It is on this line. I have several different ways that I can name that line based on what we read in the section. I can call it line M, lowercase m. I can pick any 2 points on the line to name the line with. I can call it line XR, capital X, capital R. Or I can use the symbol for line with capital X and capital R. I can use a symbol for line and pick a combination of 2 other points that are on the same line, Y and R. I can even do X and Y. So all 5 of those are equivalent in naming the line that contains point X. Right, number 3. See how I left a space here for the next exercise. A plane containing points W and R. Well, here's the entire plane. W and R are both in this yellow plane. Down here in the bottom, that B is script B, or italicized B. So I can call this B. I can call it plane. And now I pick 3 points that are in the plane. X, Y, W. As long as they're not all on the same line. X and Y are on one line. Y and W are on a different line. X is not on the same line as W, so it's 2 points and a point not on the line. I could use the letter R. I could do plane R, Y, W. R, X, W. But this will suffice. You only have to give one answer. Number 5. Name the geometric term modeled by each object. Number 5 says a floor. A floor. Well, a floor has this kind of shape, doesn't it? A basic floor's rectangular shape. That looks like a sheet of paper. The geometric term then, or the geometric shape, would be a plane. A plane. Number 7. Draw and label a figure for each relationship. Plane Z contains. All right? Plane Z. Here's my script Z. It's beautiful, isn't it? It contains lines X, Y, and W. These are lowercase letters. Lines X and Y intersect at point V. So I'm going to draw line X, lowercase x. Here we go. And lowercase y, they intersect. Here's my little y. They intersect at point capital V. Lines X and W intersect at point P. So I need another line. This one is going to be little w. Line X and line W intersect at point P. I probably should have drawn that a little bit bigger, but that's okay. This is all that I'm looking for in how you answer. And now we get down to 8 through 11. Refer to the figure. That means all of them will use this picture right here. Again, it's not important that you draw this picture on your paper. However, it might be a little bit easier for you if you do. All right. Odd, 9 and 11. Name 3 points that are collinear. Okay, I'm going to scoot over here. Number 9. 3 points that are collinear. Collinear means they are on the same line. I'm just going to pick the easy ones here. A, H, and B. Could also do B, J, and F. See, are there any other groups of 3 points that are collinear? C and D are on the same line. E and F. D and B. D and F. I don't see any more groups of 3. So A, H, B. Number 11. Are points B, D, and F coplanar? Say yes or no, and then explain. So B, D, and F. B, D, and F. I'm going to say yes. A plane doesn't always have to be represented by a rectangle. It can also be a triangle. B, D, and F are all points that, even though they are on the edge of this triangle, they are included in that two-dimensional shape. So, yes, explain. They are all included in triangle or triangle BDF. Okay, so this is the way that your work should look. I don't have the neatest handwriting in the world, but I can tell a distinction between answer number 1, number 3, number 5, and so on. This is something that I can look at, and this is something that I can check to see if the answers are correct. Your assignment, because starting with number 13, it starts all over again. So your assignment is going to be 2 through 20. That's just 10 problems, 2 through 20, the evens. 2 through 20 evens. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 2 through 20, the evens. Now on your work, if you can get all of your work going down this way, maybe 2 through 10, and you've only taken up half the page, then draw a line straight down and start up here at the top with 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 on this side. All right, make it nice and neat. Make me proud. Thank you very much. Bye.